What's up, everyone? We are here in the Jurassic room, and today we are going to be doing another full toy line review, but this time, this is from 2021. This is the Jurassic World Dino Escape toy line, which featured a lot of toys from the original Jurassic World toy line, along with some Camp Cretaceous toys. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at all of these wonderful toys they had to offer. So starting with all of the wild pack dinosaurs first, and the first one we have here is the Ramphosuchus, which is a cool little looking pterosaur, as all of you can see. I really like the colorways on it. I like that little orange hint with the gray and the black. Makes it look really, really cool. On the back of the box, we get a look at some of the other figures in the wild pack assortment, but this is a pretty cool little pterosaur for this toy line. Next, we have one of my personal favorites, the Shringosaurus. And this is such an interesting species because of those little horns on its head and it actually being on 4 legs. Makes it look like a really cool carnivore. It actually kind of looks like those ghost dog things from Ghostbusters or whatever you call them, which is pretty cool, but it's a very unique figure and dinosaur. I like the yellow paint job as well. It looks really nice on this figure. Same standard on the back, just an advertisement for some more figures. But again, this Shringosaurus is definitely one of my favorite of the wild packs, and it looks really, really awesome. Now we have Mononkeus, which is an interesting looking little herbivore. It's almost got like feathers all over it. It almost looks like a modern day like ostrich or something like that, which is kind of cool, but it does kind of show that dinosaurs came from birds. But this is really, really cool. It's got a pretty nice paint job on there with some interesting colors. Nothing too special in the back, same thing that we keep seeing, but again, looking really, really nice. And they did release one of these in the past, so this is a repaint, but it does still look really, really cool in my opinion. Now we have the Draco Rex. And again, this is another repaint that we've gotten in the past, but this is an interesting paint job with that lime green and almost like a purplish reddish color on top of its head, which looks really, really cool. Again, it's got some nice spikes here and everything, which make it look pretty menacing. We got the same standard advertisements on the back, just showing some more of these wild pack figures. But this one is pretty cool. Not one of the more special ones in the line, but still a pretty cool addition to the wild packs. Now on to the Herrerasaurus, and this one looks pretty cool. Again, this one is another repaint, but this time in this gray paint. Actually looks pretty nice on it, and I kind of like its bottom jaw, and that little like tannish orange color is pretty unique and makes it look pretty cool. It's not the most menacing looking carnivore, but enough to where it looks really awesome. Again, same thing on the back, but again, this figure looks pretty cool. The paint job is not too bad on it either, so I don't really have any complaints. It's still another pretty cool addition to this collection. Now we have the Alioramus, and this is a cool looking carnivore. I like its little snout and everything and how it's kind of elongated. Again, pretty nice paint work on it, not looking too bad. It's got this cool little like shiny paint on the front of its snout, which looks pretty cool. And I like the orangish, brownish color. It's kind of more of a realistic color for dinosaurs, so that is pretty cool. Again, nothing special on the back of the package here, but this one is a little bit more realistic than some of the dinosaurs that we get in these toy lines. So it does look really nice to me, and I actually enjoy having this one in my collection. Now here's a really cool one. This is the Zuniceratops, and this is some sort of ceratopsid dinosaur, kind of like a triceratops, but this one looks really, really cool. I love this yellow paint color here, as y'all can see. I love that nice crest on the back of its head and those nice menacing horns. This is a really nice looking one. Now again, maybe not the most realistic paint job ever on here, but it does look really cool. And look, they actually put paint down the tail, which is really, really nice because sometimes they skimp us out on those things. Looking at the back, nothing too crazy here, but again, this figure is really, really nice. One of the better wild pack dinosaurs in my opinion, for sure. This ceratopsid dinosaur looks like it is ready for battle. Now we have some of the Camp Cretaceous wild pack dinosaurs, and this is the Velociraptor. And again, this is a repaint for like the 20th time of this Velociraptor, but this is a pretty good paint job. As you can see, it's got pretty nice paint detailing, and the green colorway makes it a little bit more realistic than some of the Velociraptors we've gotten in the past, so I don't really have any complaints about this figure. Again, on the back, nothing too special. but this one does look pretty cool. Again, like I was saying, we have gotten this Velociraptor many times, but for those of you that know me, the Velociraptor is my favorite dinosaur in the franchise, so I never really complain about getting another repaint, especially on this sculpt, because this is probably my favorite of the smaller sculpt for the Raptors, so this one is looking pretty nice. Now we have the Dimorphodon, and this one is pretty cool. I like how the paint on the wing actually fades into another color, which looks really nice. A little bit more attention to detail than Mattel normally puts into it, so I appreciate that. We got some cool paint on the tail there as well with those 3 stripes, and again, just a nice looking figure overall. Now going to the back, again, same that we've been seeing with all of the other figures, but this figure does look pretty cool. Again, it is a repaint of Dimorphodons that we've gotten in the past, but this was a pretty cool repaint. It's decently realistic, but it's got a little bit of flair to it as well, which makes it pretty unique to me and a pretty cool addition to the collection. Now, the final wild pack dinosaur, and my personal favorite, is this Brachiosaurus, which is actually a baby Brachiosaurus. I mean, this thing is just absolutely adorable. Look at that. How could you get enough of that cute little face? Now, looking at the back, again, nothing special, but this one does have a pretty good sculpt to it. A not bad paint job. It's not too intense on the detailing for the paint, but I feel like they didn't really need it to nail this figure. Just keeping it nice and plain, kind of like the Brachiosaurus was in the movies, made it look much nicer in my opinion. But yes, this is a very cool one, and probably my favorite from the Wild Pack assortment. But now that we've taken a look at all of the different Wild Pack dinosaurs, let's go ahead and take a look at the Fierce Force dinosaurs. Now on to the Fierce Force dinosaurs, and the first one we have here is the Chialingosaurus, which looks really cool. It's a type of stegosaurid dinosaur, kind of like the Stegosaurus, but it seems to be a bit smaller. I really like this teal paint job, which is looking really cool in my opinion, and I like these little spikes on its arm as well, which is awesome. Then when we look at the back, we get another look at the Chialingosaurus and its spike strike, which is actually pretty cool. So if you come here and you actually wave its tail, you can actually get its spike strike, which is a pretty cool feature on this little dinosaur, and this is a pretty cool figure in this collection. Next, we have the Dilophosaurus, and this one's looking pretty cool because it's in this like white gray paint tone, which is really cool, and I like the red on the frills, which give it a really unique look in my opinion. Looking at the back of the figure, we get another look at the Dilophosaurus and how its frill moves. So if you actually use its tail, watch this. Which is very cool. So the Dilophosaurus is ready to attack and spit its venom onto its prey. Again, this is a pretty cool looking figure. This is a repaint of a previous Dilophosaurus, but I still think this one looks pretty nice and not too unrealistic, so I like having this one in the collection. Now we have the Masicasaurus, and I may have said that wrong, but this is a pretty cool looking little carnivore. As you can see here, he's got an interesting mouth with jaws here, which is pretty cool to see. He's got a nice little green paint job and with some lighter green shades going along his body, which make it look like a pretty cool figure. Looking at the back, we get a better look at this dinosaur and its forward strike, as you can see. So if we click the little button on the back, whoops, this one's, I guess, a little stubborn. So if we click the little button on the back, he normally chomps his head. Maybe I should open the mouth some, and that'll help. So he'll normally chomp his head here. I guess this one is a little bit stubborn, but that's no big deal. This is a pretty cool looking dinosaur and a nice addition to the Dino Escape line. Next, we have the Tanystropheus, and this is one of the more unique dinosaurs in this toy line due to its very long neck, which is really interesting looking, and I actually really like the blue paint job on it as well. But as you can see, that is a super long neck, almost like a sauropod, but no, this is definitely not a sauropod. Now, looking at the back, we get to see a better look at the Tanystropheus and its head striking action, which is pretty cool. So let's check out that head striking action. Now that's a pretty nice action feature because you get a lot of range of motion with this figure, which is super cool. This is definitely one of my favorite of the Fierce Force dinosaurs that they have released, and another very nice addition to this collection. Next, we have the Styracosaurus, and this one is a really pretty looking ceratopsid. I really love that horn on the front and its elongated horns over its frill, which look really, really cool. It does have a pretty plain paint job, which does look more realistic, but it's got some nice colors on the frill on the front, or the crest, which looks really, really cool. Taking a look at the back, we get a better look at the Styracosaurus and his head striking action. So let's go ahead and test that out. Which is also pretty cool because this Styracosaurus is ready to battle someone and ram them with those horns, which is really, really awesome. Again, this is another really nice sculpt and a really nice figure and a good addition to this toy line. Now we have the Sauropelta, and this is like an ankylosaurid type dinosaur, which looks really, really cool. It's got this interesting dark green and light green paint job on it, as you can see, and these really big spines that come off the back, which is pretty cool. Taking a look at the back, we get a better look at the Sauropelta and its spike strike, which is pretty cool. So if you wave its tail back and forth, as you can see, you get a nice spike strike from the Sauropelta, which is awesome. This is another pretty cool looking figure. Next, we have another of the Masakiosaurus, and this one is actually a direct repaint of the other. The other one was green, and this one is more of a maroon color with some yellow on it, which is pretty cool. I'm actually not sure which paint job I like better. They both look pretty nice, but this one's definitely interesting looking, to say the least. Again, exact same sculpt as the one we saw before. Taking a look at the back, we get another good look at this carnivore and its forward strike. So same as the other one, it's got a button. But this one chomps a little better than my other one did. It was a little too stiff. But again, this is another very, very cool figure. Now, into the couple Camp Cretaceous figures from the Fierce Force, we have this Velociraptor right here, which looks really, really cool. Again, it's got kind of a weird, gimmick at its torso, which is interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it's still pretty cool. I do like the head sculpt and everything on this Raptor, though. That does make it look really, really nice, and it's got a pretty interesting paint job. Now, looking at the back, we get another look at this Velociraptor and its side slashing action. So let's go ahead and check out that side slashing action. All you got to do is just kind of turn him like this. I don't know if there's actually a way to do it. I think you just kind of turn his body like this, which is, again, a very interesting gimmick. Not my favorite gimmick out of all of these dinosaurs, but it is still definitely pretty cool on this figure. Now we have this Monolophosaurus, and this one has got a very striking paint job, as y'all can see. It is like lime green, almost fluorescent, which is interesting. Again, not very realistic, but it does look pretty cool to me, and it is a pretty nice sculpt for this figure. Now, looking at the back, we get another look at our Monolophosaurus and its chomping action. So let's go ahead and check out that chomping action. Whoops, I actually think this one's not working. I think the jaw is a little messed up on this one. So as you can see, you can see where the jaw is starting to go now. But I guess they had a little bit of quality control issues on some of these Fierce Force dinosaurs. But again, not the end of the world. They are kids' toys at the end of the day. But this one does look pretty cool. Now, the final Fierce Force dinosaur is the Gallimimus, as y'all can see right here. And again, this one is another repaint from the past, but it does look pretty cool with its green and brown paint coat, as y'all can see. And then looking at the back, we get another look at the Gallimimus and its head striking action. So why don't we go ahead and check that out. That does look pretty cool. And it is a pretty nice figure. Again, there's nothing really special about it, but it is, still a nice addition to the collection. So now that we've looked at all of the different Fierce Force dinosaurs, let's go ahead and take a look at the Roar Attack dinosaurs. Now, moving on to the Roar Attack dinosaurs, the first one we have here is the Metriacanthosaurus. And what's pretty cool about these figures is they have 3 levels of sounds, which is pretty cool, which I'll show y'all in a minute. But again, this one is a pretty interesting sculpt. Nothing too special here, and nothing too special on the paint job either, but it's not looking bad. Now, taking a look at the back, we get another look at the Metriacanthosaurus and its 3 levels of sounds. So let's check that out. And that is super, super cool. And this is a pretty nice figure in this assortment. Now moving on to Camp Cretaceous, since all the rest of the Roar Attack figures are from Camp Cretaceous. First off, we have Ankylosaurus Bumpy, which is absolutely adorable. Look at that. Everyone loves Bumpy. This has got a nice sculpt, a nice paint job, and is looking really, really good. Now taking a look at the back of the box, we get another good look at Bumpy and its 3 levels of sounds. So now let's go ahead and check those out. Oops, I went too far. Let's try that again. Which is super, super cool. And again, who can get enough of Bumpy? One of my favorite characters from Camp Cretaceous. Now we have Baryonyx Limbo, which is pretty cool. It's got a pretty cool green and brown paint job, as you can see here. And I am a pretty big fan of this Baryonyx sculpt, since we have seen it in past toy lines. Looking at the back of the box, we get another good look at Baryonyx Limbo and its 3 levels of sounds. So let's go ahead and check those out. Super, super cool, and another really nice figure in this assortment. Now on to the Allosaurus, and this is one of the cooler ones in this assortment to me. I really like the sculpt on this one. The face looks super menacing, as y'all can see, and I like the brownish gray and blue paint job here, as y'all can see. Now looking at the back of the box, we get another really nice look at this Allosaurus and its 3 levels of sound, so why don't we go ahead and check those out. Not gonna lie, it sounds more like a Spinosaurus than anything, but it is still another really, really cool figure. Now we have the Ceratosaurus, and again, this one looks pretty cool, and I actually like the paint job on this one because it looks kind of accurate to the Jurassic Park 3 Ceratosaurus, so it is looking pretty cool. I love the red face, again, like I said in Jurassic Park 3, and kind of the tan color on the body with some of the darker kind of blackish stripes there, which look really, really nice. Looking at the back, again, we get a good look at this Ceratosaurus and its 3 levels of sounds, so again, let's check those out. Super, super cool, and another really awesome figure here. Now we have another Ceratosaurus, and this one is in a solid green paint job. It looks pretty good, but I definitely think the other one looks a lot better. Exact same sculpt and everything, but still cool. Taking a look at the back, another good look at our Ceratosaurus and its 3 levels of sounds. So again, it's going to sound like the other one, but let's check it out again. Super, super cool, and while it may not look quite as nice as the Ceratosaurus before, I still really like this figure. Next, we have another Allosaurus, and this one is in quite a wacky paint job, as y'all can see, but it does look really, really cool in my opinion. Not quite as realistic as the Allosaurus that we saw before, and this one is a direct repaint of that one, but it does look really, really cool. I like the white and red striping going down its neck. It makes it look very, very interesting in my opinion. Now, taking a look at the back, we get another good look at the Allosaurus with the 3 levels of sounds, so let's check those out. And as I expected, this Allosaurus sounds like a Spinosaurus again, but still super, super cool. Next, we have the Ouranosaurus, and this one is super, super nice. It's one of the few hadrosaur dinosaurs that we really get from any of these toy lines, so I really appreciate it. It's got a really nice sculpt and a really beautiful paint job, as y'all can see. I really love this crest that goes over the back of this Ouranosaurus, and I'm loving everything about how this looks. Now, taking a look at the back of the box, again, another good look at the Ouranosaurus and its 3 levels of sounds, so let's see what this awesome figure sounds like. Well, too far, sorry. Trying to go one level at a time, it's kind of difficult. Now this one has a little bit more accurate sounding sound effects than some of the dinosaurs prior, and this is one of the nicer sculpts and cooler species from this line, so this is definitely one of my favorite roar attack dinosaurs. Next, we have another Baryonyx, and this is Baryonyx Chaos. And honestly, I think this one's got a little bit better looking paint job than the other one, a little bit more realistic, and I really like the light blue that goes into the dark blue, along with the gray. It makes it look like a really nice figure. Taking a look at the back, we get another look at Baryonyx Chaos, and it's 3 levels of sounds, which is really, really cool, so let's listen to those. Very, very cool. This figure looks really, really nice. And while it is a repaint of the other Baryonyx and Baryonyxes that we've got from the past, I do still really like this figure. Now, last but not least, we have the Kentrosaurus, and this is a really, really beautiful figure from this assortment. I love all the spikes on it. I love its size. I love its color. I love its sculpt. You even get to poke in some extra spikes on here that are on the side of the box to make it stick out even more, which is really, really cool. This is a very nice looking figure. Taking a look at the back, we get another look at our Kentrosaurus, and it's 3 levels of sounds. So let's go ahead and listen to those sounds. Super, super cool. This is definitely a really, really nice figure from this Roar Attack assortment, and maybe my favorite one along with the Tyrannosaurus, since it is a species that we didn't see much and one that I think is really nice for this toy collection. So now that we've taken a look at all of the different Roar Attack dinosaurs, let's go ahead and take a look at the Camper Story Packs. So taking a look at all of the Camper Story Packs, and first we have Sammy and Velociraptor, which is pretty cool. Again, this is like the same repainted Velociraptor we've got many times, but it is a pretty cool little paint job there. Of course, we get the first of our couple campers. We got Sammy right here, and she comes with 2 different Compsognathuses, which is pretty cool because one of them is lime green and one of them is kind of purplish brown. Looking at the back of the box, we get a better look at the Velociraptor and Sammy with the Compies, which is pretty cool. Now, these sets are really awesome because these were some of the only ways that we could get these campers from Camp Cretaceous into our collections, so I really, really like them, and this is a pretty cool first set to look at. Next up, we have Kenji and Monolophosaurus, and I really like this set because Kenji looks pretty cool, and I actually really liked his character in Camp Cretaceous. He also comes with his little scooter and this pretty awesome looking Monolophosaurus right here, as y'all can see. Now, taking a look at the back of the box, we get a good look at that Monolophosaurus, and we actually get to see Kenji riding the scooter, which is really, really funny. I don't know if y'all remember in Camp Cretaceous when they were riding the scooters away from the dinosaurs, so I thought that was a really, really cool touch with this set right here. Now we have Yaz and Velociraptor Blue, and there's nothing really special about this Velociraptor Blue. It is like a strict repack that we've gotten from the past, but we do get a cool Yaz figure, a couple more compies, and this little compass thing, which is pretty cool to come with. Give her a nice little accessory. Looking at the back of the box, we of course get Velociraptor Blue, a better look, the compies, and Yaz, and her compass included, which is really, really cool. Again, these little camper sets are really cute and a really nice way to get all of the different campers in your collection, so I really like this set as well. Now we have the rarest set from all of the campers, and this is Ben and Ankylosaurus Bumpy. For some reason, this one did not get a good distribution, and this is the only figure they ever made of Ben, so this is actually a really rare set, but obviously it comes with a really adorable Bumpy figure, as y'all can see here. It comes with Ben, comes with his shield and his spear too, which is really, really cool, and then taking a look at the back, we get a good look at Ben, we get a good look at Bumpy, and we get to see his spear and shield included, which is really awesome. Ben was definitely one of my favorite campers from the show because he's always so courageous, and the way that he bonded with Bumpy was really cool to me. And this is also the rarest of all these sets, so this is probably my favorite. Next, we have Darius and Gallimimus, and this is a pretty good looking paint job on this Gallimimus. As y'all can see, it looks pretty cool. We get a nice little Darius figure. We actually get the Velociraptor resonating chamber, and we get a hatchling of Bumpy coming out of the egg, which is absolutely adorable. Now, looking at the back, of course, we see a better look at the Gallimimus and Kylosaurus Bumpy and Darius, which is really, really cool. I definitely think the best part about this set are the accessories like the little hatchling Bumpy and the resonating chamber, which are really, really cool to me in my opinion. And this one is another pretty nice camper set. Now we have Brooklyn in Monolophosaurus, and we get another cool looking Monolophosaurus, except for this time in orange, which is really, really cool. We get a nice Brooklyn figure, as y'all can see, and another scooter, so she can scooter around with Kenji, which is pretty cool. Looking at the back, of course, we get another look at the Monolophosaurus, Brooklyn, and her scooter included. So if you have both of these camper sets, her and Kenji, then you can make them both scooter away from the Monolophosauruses, which is really fun and really cool, but this is another really nice little set here. And the last of the camper sets, we have another Darius set, except for this one comes with a baby Brachiosaurus, which is a repaint of the original baby Brachiosaurus that they released, but in this really cool like lime green color, which I'm really digging. Of course, comes with the same Darius figure and the resonating chamber again, but this time comes with some pretty cool binoculars, as y'all can see. Looking at the back, of course, binoculars included, Velociraptor vocal resonator, and the Brachiosaurus, which is cool. Now, I know this is, just another Darius figure, but at least we get a little bit of a different accessory and another baby Brachiosaurus, so I cannot complain about that. But now that we've looked at all of the different camper sets, let's go ahead and start looking at some of the bigger dinosaurs, starting with the Mega Destroyers. So now looking at the Mega Destroyers, first up we have the Carcharodontosaurus, which is looking really, really cool. Something I love about this one is that it actually comes with capture gear, which makes it really awesome. This thing's got a really cool sculpt, as y'all can see. It looks really menacing and a really nice paint job. They really did some attention to detail here on this figure. Now looking at the back, of course we can see its breakout escape. We get a better look at the Carcharodontosaurus and its dual chomping action, which is really, really cool. So let's go ahead and check out that dual chomping action. Very, very cool. So not only does this awesome looking figure have a really cool action feature, but it also comes with capture gear that it can break out of, which makes this a really, really awesome dinosaur. Next, we have the Stegosaurus, and this is a repaint of some of the ones that we got from the past, but it does actually have a really beautiful paint job on it, as you can see. Again, we get more capture gear, which is really cool theme that goes through these Mega Destroyers. I really like how they added that touch. It really kind of reminds me of the capture gear back from the old days with Kenner and the original Jurassic Park toys. Now, looking at the back of the box, we, of course, get that breakout total tail strike and a good look at our Stegosaurus here. So let's go ahead and check out that total tail strike. So I think we actually click this one here. Oops, I'm struggling with it a little bit. There we go. So then you can see the tail strikes when you push this plate down, which is really, really cool. Another pretty cool gimmick on an awesome dinosaur like this. Next, we have the Pentaceratops, and this one is actually really, really cool to me because it is nice and large, and it is a cool looking ceratopsid dinosaur. As y'all can see, we've got a huge crest on its head with some really cool horns and a nice sculpt and a nice paint job, and this is actually kind of a rubbery feel here. It kind of reminds me of Kenner, which is really, really cool. Of course, we get some more of that awesome capture gear, as y'all can see. Now looking at the back, of course, we get Mega Head Strike and Breakout Escape, which is really, really cool, and a good look at the Pentaceratops. So now let's go ahead and check out those action features. So you can actually click the back button to make him go left and right, and the front button to make the head go up and down. So this one actually has a dual gimmick, which is really, really cool, which gives you a lot more options of playability with this really cool figure. Now, last of the Mega Destroyers, we have another Dinosaurus, except for this one is in a blue and orange paint job, which again looks really nice to me. I have no complaints about it because I really do like this figure, so I was not upset to get a repaint on this one. It's looking really, really cool. A nice sculpt, as you can see, and good paint work, like I just mentioned, and of course, the awesome capture gear. Now, when we come to the back, we get a look at the Dinosaurus real well. We get that dual chopping action, and we get that breakout escape, which is really, really cool. Now, this is the same as the other Dinosaurus, but we'll go ahead and check out that action feature. Very, very cool. This is another fine addition to the Mega Destroyers here because this is a really awesome dinosaur. But now that we've taken a look at all of the different Mega Destroyer dinosaurs, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the bigger dinosaurs and play sets. Now, taking a look at some of the bigger dinosaurs and play sets, first we have the Slash and Battle Scorpius Rex, and this is a really, really cool figure, as all of you can see. It's very, very accurate to the Scorpius Rex from Camp Cretaceous, which was the first ever hybrid that Dr. Wu created, which is really, really cool. As you can see, it's got a really cool sculpt, it's got a nice size to it, and not such a bad paint job. It's pretty plain, but it does the figure justice. Now, looking at the back of the box, we get a good look at the Scorpius Rex, along with its roar and chomp, slashing action, and tail strike, which is really, really cool. So now let's go ahead and check out all those features. So first we got slashing action, which is super, super cool. And then, of course, you can kind of whip the tail back and forth. And then we've got, watch this, the actual growling action, which is really cool. So you can make it like growl and slash, which is super, super cool and makes this a really, really nice figure in this assortment. Next, we have another Scorpius Rex, but this time it's the Scorpius Rex Danger Pack. This Scorpius Rex is actually a little bit smaller, as y'all can see, and it comes with Kenji and a gyrosphere, which is actually really, really cool. But even though the Scorpius Rex is smaller, it doesn't lack any quality. It looks really, really nice. It's got a little bit of a lighter paint tone than the Scorpius Rex before, but it is looking really, really cool. And if y'all remember in the show, there were actually two Scorpius Rexes, so it works out well to have two different figures. Now, looking at the back, of course, we get a good look at the Scorpius Rex, Kenji, and that gyrosphere that he can actually fit inside of, which is really, really cool. And as y'all can see, the gyrosphere kind of rolls to make it more realistic, which is awesome. So you could get some really fun play putting Kenji in that gyrosphere and him getting chased down by this deadly Scorpius Rex. Next, we have the Stomp and Escape Tyrannosaurus Rex, and this thing is pretty big, as y'all can see, and looks really, really nice. It's got a pretty cool sculpt, as y'all can see, not a bad paint job, and again, it comes with capture gear, which is super, super cool to me. Now, taking a look at the back, we get a good look at this T-Rex and everything it can do, like its stomping action, its roar and chomp, and it breaking out of its capture gear, which is really, really awesome. Now, I actually haven't pulled the pull tab out of mine, so the sounds are not going to work, but you can see the features, which are really, really cool. It makes this a really cool Rex. And then, of course, you can actually turn the tail here to do its boom, boom, and stomp, which is really cool. And then if you use this chomping, like I was showing y'all prior, which does have the sound effects as well, it would break him out of his capture gear, which is really, really cool and makes this an awesome yet large figure to this assortment. Next, we have the Ocean Protector Mosasaurus, which is really, really cool. Now, this is the same Mosasaurus that got released in the past, but it's got a slightly different paint job, as y'all can see, with a darker purple skin, which looks really, really cool. And this is made from 1 pound of ocean-bound plastic, which means it's helping the environment to own this Mosasaurus, which is super, super cool. Taking a look at the back of the box, we get a good look at that Mosasaurus, and it shows it's made from 1 pound of plastic plastic sourced within 50 kilometers of waterways and areas lacking formal waste collection systems, which is really, really cool. So it's kind of like, you know, helping the ocean where the Mosasaurus would live if it was actually still alive today, which is awesome. Now, of course, you can't really get a great look at this figure since it is not assembled. You got to put it together once you opening out of the box, and it ends up being a very large figure. But this is still very, very cool and another nice addition to the Dino Escape line. Next, we have the super colossal Carnotaurus Toro, and this thing is massive. As you can see, I couldn't actually hold it up to the camera since it's so big, but this is a really awesome figure with some really nice detailing into it and paint job, which makes it look really, really cool. Now, of course, when the figures are blown up into super colossal size, it is a little easier to add that extra detail, so that makes it even more awesome. Now, as we look at the back, we get a good look at that Carnotaurus, its gigantic bite, and how it swallows and stores up to 20 mini dinos, which is really, really cool. Kind of the same that all of the different super colossals have done that Mattel has made, but this one is definitely one of my favorites, especially with that amazing head sculpt paint and that scarring on the face, which make this Carnotaurus Toro look awesome. Next, there is also a Raptor Squad 4-pack. As you can see here, I do have this in my collection, but I actually could not locate it in all of my stuff, so I am having to show an image from the internet instead, which I would rather show y'all in person. I promise I have it in my collection. I'm just not quite sure where it is at the moment, but it does look really, really nice. We get all 4 of the Raptor Squad, which is really, really cool. And now looking at the back of the box, we do get a good look at all 4 of the Velociraptors. We got Blue, Charlie, Delta, and Echo, which is really, really awesome and makes this a really cool set for the Dino Escape line. So there you have it. That is the full Jurassic World Dino Escape toy line. Now, there were some other releases in the Dino Escape name, like some of the Sound Surge figures, as you can see, and some other random toys and collectibles that came out at the same time. But all of the ones that I showcased in the video today were all of the mainline toys to collect. So I wanted to give a complete guide to everyone out there that is looking to complete their collections and have every Jurassic World toy from the Dino Escape toy line. The Jurassic fun doesn't have to end here, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so that you don't miss any of my content. You can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, and in my Discord server. The links are all in the description below. Check out more awesome Jurassic content here.